Hey guys, welcome to this showcase on Wargame European Escalation. Now this game is a pretty cool strategy game that is really fun to play. So, I like this game because it really emphasizes the need to think tactically. You don't have infinite units, you don't have infinite resources. You really have to think about what you're doing to do well in this game, or you're just going to lose all your units and eventually fail. So as you can see here, the graphics are amazing, especially for a strategy game. This is zoomed up really close and it still looks beautiful. But yeah, so in this video I'll just be going over some of the gameplay and what is generally happening with the game. So the first footage we're going to be looking at for this video is this game here. This is, I think the mission is called Pit Stop. It's in the Warsaw Pact missions. I think the first Warsaw Pact campaign you can do on this game, which are I think Russia, China, you know, those sort of countries there, communist countries. So you'll see that I'm just taking my tanks and attacking these helicopters with them because I have nothing else. Not exactly supreme tactics, but you'll find on this game the helicopters are more, they actually look a lot worse than they are. They don't actually do all that much damage to a decently armored tank. So I tend to go for quality over quantity in my units. That's just how I like to play games. So yeah, as you can see, they're just slowly taking down these helicopters. But yeah, one of the cool things about this game is that you can really play it however you want to. Well, within reason. You can, what I'm saying is the units you can use are sort of, you can tailor them to your own personal needs and tastes. I'll go more into the whole personalization of your army later, but that is a big thing in this game. Essentially you can use points you get from completing missions, and they will transfer into the armory, where you can upgrade units and buy new types of units, which is a really neat feature. It's one of the best things about this game in my opinion. I love upgrading stuff. So here we are in another little segment, and this is what happens when you don't recon. Now recon is just so crucial in this game. You have to make sure you recon the enemy or you will suffer losses. This game, the way it works, you only get so many units, and you can't afford to be losing them at the same rate the enemy does, so it really forces your hand and you have to play tactically, which is one of the really great things about this game. It's not like, say, Command & Conquer 3, which I still love. It's still a great strategy game. But it's a lot more tactical and a lot more sort of slow-paced because you have to consider every action. You'll see here are the units you can buy. And what you do is you just select what units you want and you place them where you want them to be at the end, and they'll deploy from the closest deployment zone, which are generally at the edges of the map. So you'll see that little icon with a factory there, that's where they're coming from. They'll be there shortly, in theory anyway. Obviously how long it takes will depend on the speed of the unit. Every unit has its individual unit card and with its own stats and what it's good at, what it's not good at. And you'll see my units are routing here. That is another feature of this game. If your unit's morale gets broken, they will rout and they'll just retreat and you lose control of them until they regain their composure. But you can't just let them rout and then go back in. Once they rout, they'll be pretty shaken up, and you know, you have to gain the upper hand from a less forward position or from other units in order for them to try and advance the game, or they'll just rout again. So yeah, this game is packed full of neat features, and it is a really fun strategy game. I would recommend this one. But yeah, as we see, we're just the helicopters here. They're giving those units some support, meaning that the enemy will start routing. You'll see there that they're panicking because of the warning symbols flashing next to their tanks. Because when a unit sees an enemy unit, you know, getting blown up, they will rout. Because, you know, much like real life, you go, oh shit, all my people are dying, I should probably get the hell out of here before it happens to me. And helicopters are great for routing, so units have a lot of subtle things in this game that may not stay on the stat cards, but are pretty useful, like the helicopters and their amazing ability to make enemies rout. That's sort of one of those subtle features that it doesn't say on the stat cards, but is actually quite an important feature of the particular vehicle. And it's one of those things that sort of raises the skill ceiling of a game like this. Just takes it from your average strategy game to something a lot more tactical and something you really have to think about and learn the game to be able to really master it. So in this scene we're just checking out the amazing level of details on the machines in this game. I mean, look at that. It's just amazing. I mean, some games where you just completely drive a tank, nothing else, have worse graphics than that. And this is a game where there are like hundreds of different types of units, so it's pretty amazing the amount of work that goes into each unit. So another mechanic of this game is the fact you have to resupply your enemies. Your enemies? Yes, you have to resupply your enemies. No, you have to resupply your units. And you do that by either bringing in supply trucks or supply helicopters, or you can capture field operation bases or FOBs. And to do that, you simply have to drive up with some combat capable units and go close to them, eliminate all the enemies nearby, and you'll capture it and it will work for you. Or you can just destroy them straight off the bat if you, like, say you can't stay around long enough for your units to use it, but you want to stop the enemy from using that supply base. So there's another element of strategy, you know. You can't just do the whole unit advance tactics. That was good English there. You can't do the whole unit advance tactics. No, you can't do the whole, you know, YOLO the enemy all the way across the map. You really have to strategically plan it out and take certain routes and make sure you pass by some supply bases. I'm also, you'll notice I set up my artillery. That's another cool thing in this game because of artillery. The longer it fires, the more accurate it gets, and I think this shot takes the guy out. Yeah. So, you'll see my units just, you know, annihilating everyone. You start with quite a strong hand in this map, but you don't actually get any ability to resupply. Nice shot by the artillery there. And there are some more helicopters, and you'll see I have some anti-aircraft. That's everything in this game, you know, it has some kind of counter. So say like a helicopter will have a anti-aircraft gun that will counter it, you know. And that's why recon is so important. You really need to make sure those counter units aren't in the vicinity. Like, infantry is really, really good at taking out tanks, which has caused me a fair amount of rage in this game. So yeah, just look at the level of detail scaling in this game though. It's just really good. You can zoom all the way out here, or you can go right up close, pretty much a few meters away from a unit. So that's pretty cool. You can also go right out into satellite view, which is just a bit further out than that. I'm not quite sure when I decide to go out into satellite view in this game, but I do at some point. But you see, now I've taken the field operations base, and I'm just moving my units up there. Yeah, see, that's satellite view, so you can go right out, see the entire map and all its objectives, or you can zoom in right into, you know, the vicinity of a unit within a few meters like this. So that's one of the really good things about this game. And this game's graphics are beautiful, and bear in mind I'm recording this, so that's going to take a bit away from the frame rate. and it's also recorded, so it's never going to look quite as good as it actually would on screen. So you'll see all my units just have this, well, did have the yellow things by the requirements, which are those little icons, and they've run out of supplies now, so they can't actually supply anymore. And that's one of the weaknesses of having really large task forces, is they're hard to keep resupplied. So that's another element you have to think about, is can I actually make all these units go across the map, or will I just run out halfway through because I ran out of supplies. Now this game isn't like so bad that, you know, every 2 minutes you need to fuel units up or anything, but you always need to keep an eye on how much fuel and ammo they have left, especially if they're, you know, fighting their way quite, you know, quite brutal fighting could really exhaust the ammo supplies of a unit. Look at this, you know, the animation of those soldiers ain't bad at all. It's just, this game is just, the graphics are beautiful. Look at that, the fire in the background, the tanks behind. The blue outlines of the tanks, I do think you can turn that up, it's just so you can turn that off, sorry. It's just so you can see your units when they're behind foliage. So it's beautiful. And an Abrams there. Like, pretty much the most awesome tank ever. At least in my opinion, anyway. So, we're just moving our units into the bush, and, this guy, you know, he's special. He doesn't want to conform to the rules of society, so he's just like, YOLO guys, I'm just gonna drive backwards from now on, because I don't even care. He's just that badass. So, yeah. This game, pretty damn awesome. And we're just going to move on to the next segment now, and that is going to detail the whole upgrading your units and adapting your army to your own personal tastes kind of thing that I have been talking about. So you'll see there, I've just paused it right there, that there are all these different secondary objectives. And what you do, by doing those objectives, you get command stars. Now command stars are what you use to buy units. And you'll see that in the armory when we go onto it. But there's another tactical element, you know. Do you want those command stars? I mean, yes, your secondary objective may be pretty damn tricky, but it's going to make future missions easier. Because you'll have that extra edge, and you'll have a few more powerful units to work with because you complete those objectives and you could afford to get those additional units. So there's, you know, once again, another tactical element you have to consider. Usually, it's best to do those secondary objectives, but sometimes, you know, they're just too tricky, or you really don't have time to do them. Or maybe the objective is in fact timed and you just run out of time. So here we are on the decks page, and what you can do here is you can create your own deck of units, so your own selection of units that you'll have available to you in scenarios. So if we go and edit our custom deck here, we can decide what units we want to add. So say that I don't have a good command unit, which you use for locking down areas and gain resources. Say I don't have a good one and it's like really slow or made of paper or something, I don't know. I could go and buy one of these ones, so maybe I might want to buy oh, I don't know, maybe that one. That command armor thing there. Maybe I might like the look of that one, so I might buy that, add that to my deck. That'll be available in battle. Say that I could use a better recon unit. I could research these. They look quite powerful. They look like it'd be good recon, plus they'd have some offensive armament. Seems to have quite a decent amount of firepower for a tank like that. Say I just generally want more tanks that don't have enough available to me in battle, I could just buy a few more variants of the AMX-30B. You'll notice under every single one of them, well, almost every single one of these anyway, there are a few different units that I can look at and buy. So you'll see I get that one, and that one, and that one, and then have all three of those variants. But bear in mind, for every variant you have, you'll have a few more of those. You'll have a few more units you can field in any battle. So you know, you can have more units on the battlefield before you run out of units and you're screwed. So that's another element of strategy in upgrading your decks. Say I want a Chieftain, Mark 10. I don't know, seems pretty good. 9 accuracy, 8 AP power, 3 HE power, decent ammo capacity, not the fastest, good armor, not the best optics or operational range, but something I can field. I can just unlock that, and then that will be available to me in future battles. You'll see there's a nice little picture of the unit up the top, so you can see what it looks like. I could get myself a Leopard if I wanted to, or an Abrams. I mean, seriously, who with like, who? I'm just gonna get an Abrams because, you know, why the hell not? So yeah, that is pretty much the armory system. There's different units for Pact, Warsaw Pact in this, but you know, I'm just going to show you the NATO units for now because that's easier, because I don't seem to be able to actually get into the Warsaw deck right now. So you see just how many units there are you can research. It's pretty crazy, really. Got these artillery and flak panzers, artillery, you know, APCs, more artillery, various utility vehicles, tank destroyers, missile trucks, I don't know, missile, I'm not sure what you call a missile thing. Missile tank, I guess. English failure. Anyway, so yeah, just so many units you can buy, and this is only half the units in the game. Still got all the packed ones too. Oh yeah, an Apache. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to leave a like if you enjoyed it, and I will see you on the next one, guys.